Alright, track fans, we are back. We're going to do some scenery on the polycar track. Feels good. What's going to be better is taking this section out right here and going building up some scenery on it. I don't quite know what I'm going to do, but it's not going to be dramatic because it's this section here. Maybe some spectators, maybe a control tower, maybe some kind of, I don't know, we'll see. We'll take it into the basement, to the den, and we will crack on. So, let's go. Here we go. We are in the studio. Lovely, happy days. We're gonna create something out of this. So, if you remember on the track runs along the front here. So I'm gonna just grab a bit of track just to highlight that. So the track runs along the front here, and we're gonna sort it out. So I kind of think the barriers are here. We could build it up so it comes like this, so it looks like the barriers are cut into like the rock face, and that goes down, and we can have spectators lining up the corner, because this is actually an R1 corner. We're going to have spectators along here and a control tower here, or a marshal post even. Got one just in mind, like this perhaps. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Let's get on with it. First point of call, we've got to make this a little bit more undulating. So if you're younger and watching this, that just means a little bit rougher and bumpier. So I'm going to do old school. I'm going to make myself some paste. Okay, so let's put in some of this in here. So this is what I'm going to use to make small hills, and then the big hills I'm going to do expanding foam, and I've never used expanding foam before, so keep tuned to the channel, and if you want to see how that works, we're going to do that in a few episodes time as we build around and build up our scenery for the polycar track. Now, there's no rocket, there's no science to this. I've just put a few spoons in there, and then I'll gradually mix some water in there. Yeah, some more water needed. That good mix up. I want it at a certain consistency, so it's like putty, so not too runny. You don't have a lot of open time with this stuff, so you have to get that kind of balance right. Oh, here we go. I've already got it on my phone and everything, all over the desk, look. Going to revert to the knife now for a stir. There we go. So it's not falling off the knife, and we can put it down and spread it round a bit. So I might actually need a ton of this stuff. But what I'm going to do, we'll make this floor a little bit uneven just by spreading some of this around. When you put the grass on it, it'll give you some shade definition. If I thought about it, I might have put some newspaper down on the bench first, but hey-oh, it all makes like nice reading. What I'm doing there is I'm just running the knife through there, because what I want to create is some walkways in the scenery, like as it's been well walked down, because at this end that I'm working on now, down here, we put it into the shot. This is at the base of the bridge, a Dunlop bridge. So this would be a heavier trafficked area. So I just give this some definition, and then I'll redo that pathway just ever so gently, just to give it that kind of walked feel. That's it. And I'll just take the excess off the edge, or it won't fit back in the hole. So let's bring this back. So you can see what's going on here. So get this onto the table. The wood, if you remember, we've primed it, and we've painted it. We painted the sections on the track so that we could define which is going to be rural, which is going to be urban. So I'm not going to do this process on the urban parts of the track, because the urban parts of the track are going to be flat like a concrete. So what I'll possibly do is maybe some detailing in the and around that to create some kind of worn concrete marks, that sort of thing. So just trying to form up the kind of, might need my spoon for this actually. Just use the back of the spoon, spread it around a bit. Everyone has their own way of doing scenery. This is just what I'm experimenting on this piece. I might do something different on other pieces. So what I'm trying to do here is almost create that walkway in and around where it's going to be. So, and again, not worried too much about about roughs and smalls, because this is a rough section of track. So we'll make up a little bit more mix and try and get around this bit, and then we can let it dry and come back in a bit and start to paint it, weather it, put other little features in there, like maybe some of these fab tyres that I've taken off of old cars. We can drop those in, maybe create a little tyre section. Again, I'll put links to these products or products similar to them in case I can't find them at the time of looking, because I don't publish as I'm making it. It will take a while to make these videos, and then sometimes the products that I bought online, they actually become discontinued. Right, cool, let's try that for size. And I think I'll use my knife to mix this. Here we are then, guys. So all of this is dry, and it went on, and do you remember I just splodged it on and spread it around, really making a couple of high points here. What I want to spray black to start with, and then go over with a lighter grey to make some rockery there. The rest of it will be grass, mud and sand. So first things first, I've got some black colour in there, and literally I just turn my right, here we go. So I've got to do this side, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going on a bit heavier on this side. This is going to be covered by the barrier. And the overspray is gonna throw back the shadow, which I'll blend in with a dark brown colour, and then I'll do lighter brown highlights over it, and then occasionally I might do a bit of green. Catching up, bang, black, base coat. What I need to do, I want to make some darker grey, bash it all over there, get some lighter grey, give it some highlighting, and then go at it, just dab in some odd colours of sort of browny grey, like a, I don't know, sort of murky colour almost, and that'll be giving it some of that aging look. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've got to find a brown colour. Right, let's check it out. Oh yeah, that'll do. It's looking pretty brown to me. So got to just mix it up a bit, just here on my mixing machine. Got one of these. This saves you shaking the bottle. Honestly, when you start mixing a lot, you start shaking up all different bottles, you need your energy for painting, not shaking. So this thing's like a godsend. There you go. Have a look. Do we reckon? Is that too light? Just a drop of black in there. Oh, a bit darker. I can work with that. That's all right. So put this in the gun. There we go. And just go over the black. Just go over that black. Kind of heavy to light to heavy to light. So that's it. So I've got some kind of grey, moody rocks. Because it's got a black undertone, it gives it a depth of colour. So if it was a white, if I sprayed this on here, it would be more vibrant. Because I've sprayed it over black, not only in the nooks and crannies do you get black and shade, but you also get the darker tone of this tone of grey, if that makes sense. The douche. And that's it. I just literally went round the end, not too heavy. a little bit of shading and depth when I put in the brown, because that's going to be cool. Right, let's get rid of this. Right, so we're going to let this dry for 24 hours. Looks good, right? So now we can see it in a bit more of the light of day. That has worked nicely. So I wanted to do black, then grey, get that depth of colour as we discussed. And now I'm going to do some dry brushing. So trick is get some paint. I've mixed this paint here with, I don't know if you can see this, a mid grey and a black. Just any old acrylic paint will do, because it is scenery. Mixed it up. You want a soft brush, as you can see, it's got some on it, and then just gently go over these highlights, and you'll see these stones start to move, because what I did was I had a little bit of paint left over in my pot from last time when I was doing this, so I went and raided. Well, actually I didn't raid, I've had these here for a little while. Mrs. Brown was going to throw away some sunflower seeds, and I was like, hang on, don't throw them away. I can put some grey paint on those. I can mix that up, and then I can put them on my track and create little bits of rock. So that's what I did. So that's where these little stone looking things have come from. So I'm going to put a bit of the paint on the brush, and then almost like get rid of all of the paint like this. So you can just dab it, and that's it, and just gently, almost flicking, not stroke, just over the top. You're just giving it a little bit of texture on what you've already done. So just give it some contrast, like it's been worn, like it's been there. And we're gonna carry on with this. This isn't like the final bit or the final thing. This is us just having a laugh, seeing what we can come up with. So have you guys had a go at this yet? Anyone done any dry brushing? Maybe let us know in the comments how your experience of doing what I'm doing now was, because this is really therapeutic, very easy. As you can see, I'm doing it. It says it all really, doesn't it? And I'm going I get it. One of the guys in the member group, Roger, said about the Lotus 72E being probably taking the longest to do because of the detailing. But yeah, dry brushing, Roger, I get it, mate, absolutely. Maybe next one. So I still want the rock to look quite slaty, quite moody, and it's keeping its depth of colour. Awesome. Alright, that is looking sweet. Let me just take you out of the holder, give you a close-up. So you can see now, kind of on these ridges and peaks, it looks like it's been aged, but it doesn't look like it's lost the majority of its base colour. And again, coming down to these end bits here, you can really see that age wearing on there. Happy with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start to populate this area here. So this is predominantly going to be a mixture of green and brown and grey. So we've got most of the grey here. We're going to do brown, and then on the brown I'm going to do green and grey just to give it some more depth, but we're going to work pretty much that way, so right to left. Okay, I'm gonna cut frame, get set up, get you on it. Welcome back. I've just done a rearrangement. I've covered over the ridge line of the peak of the mountain because I need that peak of the mountain, the rocks, because I need them to be the same colour. I've dropped a little bit of paint, which is the Vallejo mahogany brown, into the mix. It's quite a nice brown. I'm going to add just a slight bit of white to it, just a little bit, like that. Just give it a little stir. I just want to see what colour the brown will turn out to be. I just need it to be a bit lighter than mahogany, because we can put darker streaks in. We can't make the whole thing right. Okay, so that's not a bad tone. I'm going to thin it, use some thinners. Okay, out of thinners on that one. And about 50-50 will do it. And then I'll work in. He says, and we're off, and we're slowly, this lid on here, add colour to it as we go. Creating the texture. So I'm going this way, which means all of this side will need doing as well, and that's where you get the rest of the colouring from. So it might not look like it's all brown, it looks patchy. As you turn it round to do this side, you will get those undersides. See? It's all starting to fill in the blanks now, starting to become more of a consistent canvas. And you notice we've not really got any major black spots or issues or anything. It's going to be nice to work in a green with. And the grey. So you see, starting to get that kind of rugged look, that kind of rough look. There we go. Now we want to concentrate on some green. So same difference. I'm going to get some green. I want to go for a dark green. So I've got a couple of greens here. We just shake them up a bit and then we can see what green we want to go for. Alright, well it's tricky. Tricky. Let's get you zoomed in. So I think this is too racing green. It's like quite bold, quite prominent. That is the heavy black green. I'll put it up there. That's out the picture. This is not bad. This, because then when we start to put hedges and foliage on there, it's normally darker than that, and that's kind of like a mossy green as well. So moss is good. That one is quite good maybe for some darker texture where if you're doing like some bushes or hedges or something. But I think we're going to go for this green one here. I think that's going to work well with this, and then in time the foliage that we put on there as well. So I'm gonna pause it, get ready for the next bit, putting the green on, and we'll go from there. So this one we're going for is called Heavy Grey, although where I come from it looks very green indeed. So we don't need as much as the last lot. I made a bit too much of the brown. As you can see, I've still got quite a bit in there that I emptied out of the airbrush. I've just given the airbrush a little clean through, just so that it saves us time on the video. You don't want to watch me cleaning stuff. I mean, boring. So mix that up with thinner, 50-50 on this. It'll be absolutely fine. As you can see, it's kind of like an olive drab colour. It's going to work with this. Like, I think it's going to be good. So what I'm thinking here is, if you remember, this side here is down the main straight. Okay. This side here goes into an R1 corner, very tight. So I was kind of thinking along here, because you've got looking over by where the light tower is, spectators along here. So this kind of area here would be walked pathway, and then down this way a little bit that you can't see on the screen. This kind of area here will be more green because it's not walked on by spectators. So I'm going to kind of go easy on the green to almost leave this unscathed, where I'll then do some other detailing and maybe have like more green here and on the outer strip here, and then I have that warm. So let's try that out. Okay, it's good. Let's go. That's looking good, and again we need to bring it out and come in from this side. Excellent. I'll just put that last couple of drops in there. Just take out some of those white troughs that you can see, those white nicks. Still got the tiniest little bit of paint. If we thin that just slightly, yeah, a little rinse around the slightest bit of thinner, we got quite a bit more paint there. And then the nice thing is what we're going to do is we want to go a little bit darker as well, just some patches of darkness to give it that like texture. We're going to use the same paint pot, and we're going to take that darker green, this one here, if you can just see my finger down the bottom of the screen, and we're going to use it. We're going to mix the paint in there, and then we're going to put some pops of, because this will give it illumination. So we've got brown, we've got green. We're going to use some of this in here, just a small amount, to give a little bit of movement. That'd be awesome. Okay, here we go. And then you'll see. And just take your time, go around in some detail wherever you feel you want it. So this is looking good. That needs to be just spread out a little bit, just brought out. It's quite heavy on its own, so let's spread it out a little bit, blend it in there. Good, it's coming together nicely. And what we've kept is we've kept our pathway that we wanted, which will become more prevalent when we start to add some foliage to it now. Good. Airbrush clean. It's looking good. I like it. I could leave it like it is now. It's got a nice kind of feel to it. It's got a nice worn look to it. I like it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply some grass, just sporadic, just small bits of grass, just to give it a bit of like almost like a little bit of flavour, but not too major. So first point of call is some of these little seeds have come undone while we've been filming. So I didn't actually glue them in position in the first place. I just painted them and then put them on with the paint drying them to the surface. So with the glue, I want to sort of create tufts around places. So not a big furry floor, but just little accents almost. Just to see what it's like. So it's really easy. You get some of this grass. It's static grass, so you can use it through a static grass applicator. If you go and check out Lee's slot cars, he uses one that he got from eBay. It looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. Does the job perfectly, so it's ideal for what he needs. I ain't got one yet, but you never know in the future. And the reason I'm using this little pot is because I like to, it comes out clumpy, and I like to just break it up a little bit before I pour it on. And the idea is that it's a bit like old glitter painting, where you paint the glue on the floor, on the paper or whatever you're painting, and then you sprinkle it over the top. Well, that's how I found the most effective way of doing this is without wasting loads of it. Because ultimately, after you've done this, you want to turn it upside down and shake it on the table. And you'll see it will thin out massively when we've done it, because we're putting a load down over the top, so to speak, and then we're going to shake it off when we're finished and reuse it, because we don't want to waste it. We want to capture it and reuse it. That's good practice, track fans. Okay, so we're gradually bringing the grass from the rock back on, where it's going to thin out a little bit and be more patchy and sporadic, like it's been worn and used. Right then, so we're going to leave that to dry for a bit, and then we're going to come back and we're going to turn it upside down and watch all of them stones fall off. If they don't, happy days. If they do, we're gluing them back on, then we'll crack on, because we've got Marshall posts to put on, think about what spectators we're going to put in different places. So it's starting to come together. I'm really liking the way that this is looking. Yeah, see you in a minute. Okay, this is all dry now. So we will go ahead and flip it over and see what we got. Get some of this out of the way. Just give it a gentle shake. Shake, 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 shake. Ready to roll. And you can see all the debris, and you can see what's left. So I'll just bring you up. Let's have a closer look at how it's turned out. So you can see it's sporadic, it's worn, and you can rub this, which is nice. Good, it feels good. And then you've got lots here that you can reuse, which is good. So we're getting there. Again, so we've got that definition on the rocks, patchiness, textures, kind of beaten path, walkway. It's what we wanted. And then if we think now about seeing where our Marshall post will go, exciting, we are getting there. So we can have a Marshall post here on the straight, like that, so that overlooks the raceway, the track, as it comes into a tight hairpin, which is where you would have a Marshall near an area of danger to put out a yellow flag, or whatever, red flag, black flag, whatever flags he's feeling like, or they are feeling like. So do we do that, or do we use this one, drill it in so we don't have the base plate? That is the question. I think we'll go for this one, because this one's been made beautifully by Tara from Strictly 1 in 32 scale Strictly figures. You can find them on Facebook, and they will create you figures to this detail. Brilliant, brilliant detailing, and that'll fit on your track nicely. So that's what I'm going to do. But then we've got to build this up around here. Maybe it would have been a good call to have done that before doing the overall scenery, but it's all learning. That's all it's all about, is learning. I think we can get that one on there. What I might do is just build up a little base of the stuff I made this with, you know, that white plaster de Paris, just a smidgen of it, and then squelch that down on it so that it's level, and then using it just fill around the sides of it so we've got that embankment, and then I can just slightly decorate that and no one will know that it's any different. But in terms of tonal shading, that grass is actually really good to the browns, the light greens, the dark greens, really nice indeed. So, cool, so I'm liking that. So that's what we'll do next. Right, let me get set up. Okay, to save time, I've mixed this up. You saw me mixing it earlier in the video, same difference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to butter back this, which means you put it on the back of it. Put a decent amount on, and then spread it out from the centre. Because what you're going to do is you're going to squelch it down like this, and you want it to come out of the sides. You want it to do this, because what you can do is just pull your finger round and you're actually creating the build up that you need to blend this in. Now this is always going to be taller than the base, which is expected. Okay, and then just with some of this around the base, you want to kind of smooth it out, rub it into your base. We can spray all this up again. Like I said, it would have been a better move to have done this first and then spray up and around it, but that's okay, because it's to show you my mistakes as well as just how to do it right first time every time. I suppose that would be advantageous for your time, but you know, we're hanging out, so it's okay. Right, good. So that needs to dry properly. Smoothed it over. We've got some lips in there and some bumps and some kind of directions, because when we build that up, we're going to build it up to be similar to how it looks at the back here, which is happy days. So I'm going to pause it there, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint this up again. Not again, but paint this up, and then that will be ready. That Marshall post is going nowhere, but looking good. We're back. This is dry now, so we can start to build it up. And just gently, remember, just don't want to go too heavy, just giving it a little bit of tone, because you're going to come in with the greens, and we're going to blend it down and blend it out, blend it in. It's going to look fabulous. The reason I'm pumping it like this with my finger is I've actually run out. I put such a little amount in purposely just to do some shading around here. Now what I need to do is put the grass on here. Now you want to just, we're blending now, so we want to try and do what we can to bring the grass away and a build up to it, but whilst trying to make it look a little bit natural. Amazing. I'll give a little sprinkle down there. Good. And it's starting to blend in like a part of the diorama, the track section. So not too much, just enough to just sort of camouflage over where it's raised and stuff. And then what we'll do is we can actually add a bit of scenery in around the bottom of it. So there's a little section around here. You can see just here. So I'm going to create some of these to go there, just to give it some continuity. And we'll have a look at that, and you won't be able to see it in its entirety till I've sorted it out, but it'll give you an idea what I'm doing around the corner here that you can't see. So I'm literally going to quite a blob of the glue there, and I'm going to get some stones, some seeds, and drop them up. And just by putting these on here like this, it just makes it look like it's come from it's been here a while. It's got a build up of stones around the back. It's just whatever detail you want to put into it. Whatever you think is right for your track is right for your track. Don't let anyone tell you what to do on your track. You want to have a go at it, have a go at it. If someone tells you it can't be done, have a go at it until you're satisfied it can't be done. And then just sprinkle a load of this on top of it. As that will dry in and around it, and then when I shake it off, so I can get these cones, and I can maybe put them, you know, like here, to sort of indicate that walkway. I'll have to cut the bottoms off them because I like yellow cones, kind of get that like walkway. Or do I use the cones and create sort of almost like a barrier on each side, like that, and then these two at the back to create that kind of fence? I don't know. Well, I got cones for 75p from a swap meet, which is beauty of swap meets. So we'll let that dry off, then we'll take it to the track, and then we'll have a think about figures. Right, nice one. We are down the garage, so I brought it down. Do you remember we were drying this little bit off here? It's gonna... So as I've blown that away, what you can see, shaking the camera, is you can see how the grass and those little seeds have dried together to make it look like the grass has grown in and around that rock face. So it's just like little snippets of detail. So let's drop it in and see what it looks like. Okay, snag. I didn't see this coming, but this bit here, see, like this bit on the edge, we need to get rid of that or it's not going to work. So I'm going to chisel, I'm going to sand that down so it's flat, and then it will fit in there nicely. So we'll get that done now. I'm just going to get that done off camera and then come back on and put it in, show you how that looks. I'm sanding some bits off, yeah, it's not rocket science. All right, 2 ticks, I'll be right back. Okay, let us try this out. Right, here we go. Let's see if that little shaving has it's worked. It has worked. Now, interestingly, this has bowed. It's come up like this. I quite like it. It lifts it off this front edge, which means we've got an issue. We need to deal with that front edge. Now I've got an idea. Do we put in a little brick wall? Don't know. But if I take you round to have a look how it looks in situ, it actually looks pretty good. So we've got the walkway that follows around and comes down here. What I might do is I might put a catch fence along here. If you're not sure what a catch fence is, this is a catch fence. So we have a catch fence along there, and we can have spectators behind it, so it's protected from the actual track, which looks, I think that's quite a cool idea. Let's go for that. All right, so I'm gonna have a tinker with this a little bit over the next, I don't know, few weeks. But that's one section for rural. We've got urban, rural, 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 urban, urban. So yeah, let's have some fun. So that's how it's looking now in the track. I think it looks all right. It's given it a little bit of character. Possibly feeling that these fences need to be aged, but that's the initial bit. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to wrap this video up so you can see the progress on that. and then bring you updates moving forward. Take it easy.